So now that we've worked on rotation, let's work on extension. So that's a pattern a lot of people are deficient in, but a lot of people don't quite do extension work well. They tend to do more TL hinging, thoracolumbar hinging at the bottom of the ribs and the lumbar spine, and they create that hinge joint that we were talking about earlier. So laying on your back, I just want you to have the roller set up just below your shoulder blades. Okay? So a roller works really good because it gets you off the ground slightly, and it's soft so that we can arch over top of it without it being a big problem. So bend your knees so your feet are flat. If you try to use a PVC pipe, it's going to be really uncomfortable, not to mention kind of masochistic, but a roller tends to be hard enough for most people. What I want you to do is take your hands and grab behind your head, and then pull your elbows forwards like you're aiming at the roof. So what this position with your arms does is it makes your neck neutral. People, when they go like this, they have a tendency to extend through their neck rather than extending through their T-spine. Now, before we go into extension, come on up. No, stay, but just don't go into extension. Okay, so grab behind your head, elbows forward. Now, a lot of people, when they do this, they're going to extend through their TL, and their ribs are going to flare out huge. So extend back and let your ribs come up, really big. So do you think he's getting a lot of movement through his thoracic spine on this one? If you were to look at him from a side view, you can see his thoracic spine isn't really moving all that well, but he's getting a lot of movement right here, right at the area where that hinge would be, where the ribs would come up. So if we just keep banging away at this, it's not going to make him extend through his thoracic spine anymore, but what it's going to do is make him really great at extending through that TL junction more than what he currently is. So one way that I work on this, come on up, right there, is I tell him to brace and pull the ribs in. So not down, but just towards each other. Good, just like that. Hold that brace, and now what I want you to think of is this is one anchor, your collarbone is another anchor. I want you to try and create separation between those 2 points. So keep this anchored down, and then pull your collarbone away from it. Only as far as you can under control, and breathe. Try going tongue down. There you go, keep your teeth together, but don't let this pop up. If I let go, I don't want to see those ribs flare. So do you see a difference? So he's still controlling this. It's not great, but he's controlling it. But he's creating separation through that front, where he's actually creating extension through his thoracic spine versus just arching back and forth on the roller. And he's working hard. Are you breathing at all? Okay, come on up. Take a breather. So most of the time when I get people doing this, I'll get them to go back, hang out there for a 2-breath or a 3-breath count, and then come back up. So they actually have to breathe. When you're getting people to do stuff like this, don't just base it on number of reps. Get them to actually be conscious of breathing. So if I do 5 by 3, that's 5 reps with 3 breaths. Nice and easy. So they have to breathe 3 times for 5 reps into it. So that way they can cue themselves that, yeah, breathing is very important. Elbows forward, tack, and stretch. So you anchor the ribs down, and then you work on getting the extension. Keep the ribs down, and breathe. There you go. Hang out there for 3 breaths. Very simple to be able to do, but this is something a lot of people are going to find trouble with, because anchoring the ribs down and being able to extend through the sternum. If people are having trouble with this, think stretch the sternum. Stretch the breastbone. Get longer through that zone. That way they can think of arching back into it and getting extension rather than just rocking back and forth on their TL. Come on up. Now, when that gets easy, we can work on doing some arm glide work when he gets into there. So keep this anchored, arch back onto it. Get as far back as you feel you can, but don't let this go. Pull in, good. Now, I want you to take this arm and I want you to press it to the mirror over your head. Good. Reach and breathe. So now he's got to work on pressing through that movement. So now he's getting scapular motion coming on. Hold there. Now bring your arm down like you're doing a pull down. And every bit of muscle that's between the roller and his rib cage is getting tack and stretched as he's going through that. So it's like foam rolling the thoracic spine and in the scapular attachments. Keep this pulled in. There, right there. Chest up. Good. And he can do this on his own. Now come up just lightly. Just come up out of that T-spine stretch. Good. And then go back into it, and I want you to do your left side. So he's having fun with this one. Just a little bit. Keep pulled in. Good. I don't care about how big your chest is. I want to see how small your ribs can get. Good. There, right there. That's it. That's it. Now go through it. And you'll feel the ribs literally come towards each other when you do that. There you go. That's as far back as I want you to get. So he was cheating on that one. Ribs in. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as the ribs come up, he's getting the TL junction to do most of the extension, because as soon as the ribs come up, there's nothing that's keeping the T-spine extended anymore. He's pretty much gone back into flexion. So keeping the ribs down and getting that sternum to stretch, that's what's going to get that T-spine stretch out of it. Good. Okay, come on up.